Before I begin, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Vanish for a big coffee donation. Thank you very much. Incredibly generous of you. Very, very appreciative of that. Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for that. Okay, we're going to be watching Venomeater. It's a very edgy name. Who's going to be playing Winston and maybe switching to some other tanks. It's like Rammatra as well. Playing Junkertown, and this is Gold 2. Hello, I just wanted someone to take a look at this gameplay and tell me what I was doing wrong. I just wanted to play some Winston and wanted to improve with him alongside Ryan. I just wanted to know what I was doing wrong. It was a rather frustrating match during that time. I tried my best, but it was in vain. So I've noticed that you've done a lot of posts recently that pretty much have the same general theme, which is like, hey, help, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, everything is going terrible. This sucks. Like, I feel really sad about this. I think my biggest tip is chill. Like, just calm down. There's like a very like desperate vibe coming from your posts, and I think you just need to relax a little bit. Okay? Just ask kindly and be like, "Hey, look, this is what happened. This is how I saw it. I feel like I'm making mistakes. I don't know what the mistakes are. Could someone help me identify them?" You know, just chill a little bit. It reminds me that some of the other people that I've, reviewed who like very obsessively keep messaging me afterwards to like keep reviewing more games. I'm like, I'm not your private coach. I'm just doing one of these. Like, I generally have my default rule is like, see you in a month and I'll review your game again. So just it reminds me of that. Just I'm gonna make this video for you. You can look at it. It can help you improve. But then after that, like, just kind of work on your game, practice. You don't really have that many hours. I think you said something you had like 40 hours or something. Is way too little. You would be shocked at how many hours you need at Overwatch to get like actually quote unquote good at the game. Okay, so let's watch this play out. Alright, Sombra gets forced. It's fine. Reload. So for starters, I don't think this dive is at a good time. And the reason is because your team is not ready to follow up. Okay? The moment that you go in here, it is immediately going to be like a 3-on-1 on high ground, and the 2-step over here, it becomes a 5-on-1. And let's say, hypothetically, that you jump in, you put bubble, you fight a little bit, and then you get hacked before you can jump out, then you die. Like, that's not good value here. You need a little bit more patience. So you need, like, probably the Moira to move the cart up a bit, and you can move the cart up too. Like, you could literally stand here, that's fine, and move the cart up to around here, and that's when you want to jump onto them. That way your whole team can help, rather than just going this early. In fact, you get hacked while you're in the air. Good melee cancel. Zap the Ana, right? Good. Really, really good kill initially. So this should basically be a win as long as you don't, like, nobody else is anything silly. After you finish killing the Ana, there's no reason to stay up here anymore. Okay? Zarya does twice as much damage as you do, even with 0 charge. So you don't want to fight this. Like, she's just getting more value out of it than you. Just drop. Just drop, go back to cart, move the cart, right? Get ready to jump again. Now, you might think, okay, but I want to jump the team again. This is not likely to result in success. First of all, the Moira can fade away from you. Second, it's a really large open space, very easy to kite. Number 3, the Sombra can hack you, and she does good damage against you. Number 4, the Zarya can bubble people. There's no reason to continue trying to fight. Like, you got a kill, great. Just come back, right? Or jump the Widow, actually, would probably be the highest value here. But don't fight the Zarya. So you see how you've already lost 250 health right here to the Zarya? You did not need that to happen. Like, imagine when you kill this Ana. Right now, imagine you just walk away. All you've lost is 130 health. But instead, now you've lost double that because you've been taking this damage that you don't need to. So, small note on jump mechanics. You're moving backwards when you do this jump, so the angle is like pretty good, but you don't go as far because you're moving backwards. So move forwards to get better jumps, and I'll link the Winston jump guide video. If you're going to play Winston and get good at it, you have to learn how to jump. Right? It is much more complicated than people would imagine who don't play Winston. Like, as Winston, you want to be able to jump from here and land like on this dot right here perfectly. You want that level of accuracy, Winston, everywhere you go, because it makes a big difference on your ability to get kills and survive. So right now, you should just jump back to the cart, because the Moira can heal you on cart. Okay? Staying over here with the Mercy is like okay, but the problem is your Mercy doesn't really want to pocket you. Right? Your Mercy wants to pocket a DPS because she does plus 30% damage boost, which is not a lot of damage for you since you only do 60 damage a second. She wants to pocket someone like the Soldier, right? Or the Junkrat to potentially get like one-shots or near one-shots, you getting damage boosted is not high value. That's why you should just come back here, because your Moira doesn't have anything to do. Okay, let's just look at from the beginning of the game. Right, Moira's out here. Like, she's just throwing a damage orb. She fades for no reason. Right? Junkrat dies. She's just sitting here. She really should move the cart. But you see how she can't heal you. You know what I mean? Like, she's really far away, and she's like isn't able to do anything. If you just jumped back into her face, like literally just jumped here, I guarantee she would heal you. And that gives her something to do at least. Okay, so it's good that you came back. I think you noticed that the Sombra was there. You forced out, also try to melee to get that kill. She was like very close to being one-shottable. Yeah, she's actually one-shottable here. You should have kept walking into her face to melee, because she messes up staying as long as she does. So right, see, now you start moving away. If you just kept walking in her face, you would have been able to get the melee kill. So that's actually a mistake by you. You could have killed her. Alright, you walk back in, you scope out the situation. So this is a bad jump, right? Because what does this jump actually accomplish? You land on nothing. You're in between the Ana, the Widow, and the rest of the team. And like, yeah, you're probably going to bubble here. But you take damage from the Ana and the Widow. And the bubble is not necessarily so helpful. You could have done the exact same thing by landing here onto the three of them and then putting bubble down. You know what I mean? Then you would have done the impact landing from 50 plus the melee, that's 30, so it's 80 damage right away, and then burned down the Moira, forced her back, which would have left the Zarya here without totally cut off from both supports, because the Ana can't heal because of the bubble, and then the Moira can't heal because you would have forced her back with Fade. And especially if you put the bubble in the middle of the lane instead of to the right, there's no way the Ana could do anything to help the Zarya, and the Zarya dies. Okay, so again, very clearly that your jump mechanics aren't there. You really want to do a short jump, or a medium jump at most, so you go way too far. I don't think you meant to go all the way over here. Really, where you wanted to go was right here, right behind the cart. And stay nice and close, right? Do a reload and get right back into the fight. Little things like that add up over the course of the game, for sure. And even over the course of a fight. So right now, like, just think for a second. You're at 293. Again, the Zarya has a good amount of charge. She's probably like 60-ish right now. All right, 74. So she's got a good amount of charge right now. She does, at this point, almost 3 times as much damage per second as you do. You don't really want to fight her right now. So you really just want to keep going after the supports. Reload. Yeah, I'm just going to get melted here. Like, there's no reason to be staying. Oh, man, yeah, you get bubble too. Or a hack, rather. So this is why you get hacked. Is because you jump away from the cart for literally no reason. All you had to do was sit here, wait in the cart, wait for jump, and then go with jump. But because you get sloppy, you jump away from cart right now. Like, if you just stay here, you're fine. The second you jump away, Sombra hacks you, and then you're both away from cover, and does high charge Zarya, and you can't put bubble down, and you get boosted. So your Reaper's down right now. You really should wait for your Reaper, right? You have close spawn, so the Reaper's going to be here very soon. You're zapping to spy check for the Sombra, which is good. Unfortunate. So another example of where your jump mechanics are off. Okay, so where do you want to jump here? Let's think about this. Where do you want to jump? You want to land right here. Okay. Alternatively, I would say the plat level play is to land here. Okay. I think the diamond level plus play is to land over here. The reason being, you want to land directly on her for the most damage, right? 50 damage if you land directly on, dropping down to like as low as like 10 damage or something at the very edge of the circle. So you want to land directly on her for the 50 damage plus the melee. Now, the thing is, when the Widow sees you start jumping, what is she going to do? She's going to go to cover because she has no reason to fight you at close range. She's unlikely to run this way because that exposes her in the open to the rest of your team. She's almost assuredly going to go this way, which is both A in cover and B goes towards her supports. So if you simply predict that she's going to go to the left, you can jump over here, land to the left, bumps her out this way, and then it's an easy kill. But you see how she goes to the left, you jump to the right, which wouldn't even have been a full damage impact anyway. Right? Because you really should be landing here if you're landing like directly on her. And your bump actually knocks her towards her team. And now you can't get the kill. So what would have been an easy kill ends up being not a kill at all, and you actually barely do any damage. So right here, right, you get hacked, and then you put bubble down. But do you need bubble? You're at 388, you're on high ground, you have cover. You don't need bubble right now. And I think one of the good ways of thinking about bubble is how much damage was I able to do with bubble? Okay, excluding the rare scenarios where you have to bubble for your team to like stop them from dying to a diva bomb or something like that, you should generally measure your bubbles as how much damage could I do with the bubble. I would say if you do less than 100 damage with the bubble, you are effectively soft throwing, right? Which includes if you die before being able to wait out the bubble or whatever, right? If you do less than 100 damage, you're basically throwing. If you're doing 100 to 200, that's okay. That's like regular good value. And if you do more than 200, you're doing great. I think you're doing a really, really good job using the bubble. Okay, so let's think for a second. How much damage did you get with this bubble? You don't hit anybody. You don't hit anybody. You don't hit anybody. You still haven't hit anybody. So you did 0 damage to that bubble. Right? So let's just think about that. What did I say earlier? If you do less than 100 damage, less than 100 is probably a little stretch. Less than 50, you're throwing. 50 to 100, not a good bubble. Not throwing, but like a poor bubble. You did 0 damage there. And stuff like this is why you lose games. All you had to do was simply not bubble, because you actually were not in danger in the way that you expected. And maybe you were thrown off because you died before, but you're not actually in danger here. And so, for example, instead of bubbling here, you could have waited a second, maybe got a heal, and then dropped, like, for example, right here, put down bubble, and zap these two, right? To cut off the Ana from healing from the Zarya is one thing you could have done. Or you could have dropped over here and put down bubble and attacked. You have multiple options, right? But putting bubble down and doing 0 damage is the worst possible option that you could have picked, because you both wasted the cooldown and got no value. Alright, you do a good job targeting the Moira. So one thing to think about is, as this Moira gets low, she's clearly going to get very low, don't walk to the left. Walking to the left opens you up to the rest of the team, and I think that's something that you very clearly don't think about. You don't think about line of sight very much, okay? You're exposing yourself to all these 3 people who can shoot you, and nobody else, just you, right? Everybody else is in cover here. These 3 can shoot you, but you're not shooting them, so why? And what could you do instead? Go this way, right? Go to the diagonal right this way, and then you can keep zapping the Moira and keep her within range without getting exposed to the backline. Very important. And you get melted here. Again, if you got to the right, I guarantee you would not have died there. So, I'm going to introduce you to a concept called staging. So, generally speaking, for Winston, you cannot get into the fight in one jump. With the exception being like sometimes like the very start of fight, sometimes you can. But generally speaking, you cannot get into the fight with one jump, especially on a map like Junkertown with very long sightlines. I also don't think this is a good Winston map, by the way. But you see how it's really hard for you to get to the back. Like, you really want to be here. Like, if you could teleport as Winston, you'd want to teleport and land like right here and just zap both of these two. That would be ideal. But since you can't teleport, we can do the next best thing, which is what's called staging, where you get ready for the actual dive that you're going to do. And what that usually means is that you either run, or walk rather, you walk or jump to an intermediate safe spot and use that to the jump to the actual spot you want to go. So here, I don't want to just try to jump and like Hail Mary and go as far as I can, because this does not actually give me much value. Okay, again, you zap the Zarya for like, I don't know, 30, 40 damage, and now you've wasted bubble, but this doesn't actually stop them from doing anything. Like, the Widow is actually, it's very lucky that she aims at you, because there's no reason to. She could just step to the left and keep killing your team, right? Same thing for the Ana, right? Same thing for if there's a soldier or Junkrat. Like, this bubble doesn't actually protect your team. It's just basically saying, hey, shoot me, but they don't have to shoot you. There's no reason for them to. So this bubble doesn't actually do anything. What you should have done instead is you should have jumped, for example, there's a lot of options, but you could have jumped here, okay, waited 5 seconds for jump pack to be over, come around the corner, and then jumped. Or you could have jumped here and then walked over here and then did the jump, okay, which I think is even stronger. But jumping into the middle is a mistake, right? That's good. Again, look for the melee. Ooh. All right, so for one thing, you're just kind of holding down mouse button. Okay, you're at 44 ammo now, where you're 100. So look at your ammo. I want you to look at your ammo right now. Right? So zap, that's fine. Okay, reload. You're at 100 ammo right now. Zap, 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 zap. You haven't hit anything. You're at 88. You're still zapping. Still zapping. There's nobody even on your screen right now. Still zapping. You're at 50 ammo. You're at 48 ammo. You do jump. This is a good jump in, right? You forgot to do the melee cancel, but that's fine. but you notice that you're already at 30 ammo because you wasted half of your mag, like not even attacking anything. Like this is just basic fire discipline. Like I say this in a lot of videos, don't push mouse 1 unless you can hit an enemy. Or at the minimum, there is an enemy on your screen. hitting the button when there is nobody around you is no good. And one of your other posts I read, you said like, oh, you get really overwhelmed with the visual input. Somebody made a good suggestion, was to set all the graphic settings down to lowest. I would strongly recommend that. Even if you're a good computer, I would set all the graphic settings down to the absolute lowest, because I think A, it improves frame rate, but B, it makes the game less cluttered. I'm sure people can tell who have higher graphic settings probably can tell that all my graphic settings are always at the lowest. So now she gets low, right? And now you're out of ammo. But she's potentially killable here if you had more ammo, but you don't. And now you're forced to reload in her face. And now things are going to go poorly. Right? So the moment she EMPs, I leave, right? In fact, once she got out this door, I leave, probably. Because I recognized I can't kill her now because the Ana's going to be able to pocket her. And the Ana heals for more than I do damage, right? Ana's pocketed damage is something like 90, right? If she's hitting every dart, and it's about like 83 with reloads. Winston only does 60 damage per second. So if you're zapping someone and Ana's healing them nonstop, they will actually gain health compared to the damage that you do. So once the Ana can see the Sombra, there's no reason to continue the attack unless I think my Tracer's going to get the kill, which he obviously is not. Kill the Sombra because she makes a big mistake here. Again, you've used 10 ammo without anybody actually being there. You're going to do this jump. All right, pretty good jump. You do the melee cancel, great. So you lose just like a little bit of mechanics. You lose track of everybody. You land on their left, so they're going to get bounced to your right. All right? Then you turn this way, and then you lose track here. You over peak, right? You land here, you're good. You look this way, and then you go back. So you lose a few, like basically about half a second of damage right here, which makes a difference on Winston. It's very hard to get like opportunities to attack people, especially at higher levels. People are very, very good at not doing this. I actually kind of like this. I like that you went high ground here instead of the Ana. Because now you're basically trying to go for the double kill. Again, mechanics. You see, you jump, you bounce her, and then you lose her right here, which is again very important. Period. You get the kill. You get slept. Okay, I mean there's not a lot you can do about it. It's gonna happen, right? Just jump. You hit the water tower. Ooh, to not get one more hit there is actually really big. Oh, okay. So first of all, you should have done a short jump. As you should have gotten one more swing in for sure. But second, right here, just move back and then point down and then jump forwards. And then you'll do a quick short jump and you'll burst kill her. So now you zap and you kill her. So Moira's here, you're reloading. I don't even know that I would go back here. I think I would, because the Moira doesn't seem like she wants to fight me. So I would probably go for the Moira. I think going for the Torb is a mistake because the Torb will instantly kill you in one hit. I do not agree with trying to dive back to the Torb. I think you just should have stayed on the Moira. One thing we have not been talking about, and which I probably will not talk very much about, is holding right click. So holding right click is actually, I would say, a fairly advanced mechanic for Winston. I'm still getting used to it myself because it didn't exist in Overwatch 1. But I think it's going to add too much complexity to you to talk about times where you could be charging your right click. Because then you're going to be obsessed with like, oh, should I be charging my right click here? And it's not necessary for literally you to get to like diamond easily. You could easily get the high diamond by never use right click for Winston, for sure, if not masters. All right, good. Kill the Moira. Reload. So right here, I mean, you can just look through the wall without having to drop and be like, okay, is anyone contesting? No one's not contesting, right? You can't see the enemies, but you can see your player behavior. If they're all looking at you, like while spamming up, there's obviously nobody on the cart. So you don't have to drop here. I think you should have just stayed window, especially since you threw bubble down. Obviously, jump issue, but we're not going to cover it. So again, patience. Your team cannot help you if you jump right now. You need this cart to move probably to around here before you want to do this jump. And it's okay right now to... Oh, man. It's okay right now to simply just stand on the cart, too, because you really don't have much else to do. Or to, for example, hold this window to prevent the Torb from spamming your team out. So you do this jump. This is a really bad jump because it gives you tremendous airtime that makes you very easy to hit. Like, you see how easy that shot is for the Ana? Never do this. There's only one scenario where you would ever make that vertical jump, is where you absolutely need to buy time and all the opposing heroes are close range, or the vertical area is obscured from them. like if there's an arch or something like that, and you need to jump up to basically stay alive, A, B, allow your jump pack to cool down because it starts as soon as you jump, not when you land, and C, do the landing damage when you come back down. I think that is a very advanced technique, and I do not think anyone under Diamond at a minimum should ever do it. I think that at your level, just focus on the standard 45-degree jumps that get you in quickly and minimize your airtime as much as you possibly can. Anyway, you get slaved here. You're very lucky to not get obliterated. I'm surprised nobody like shot you or grenaded you or anything here, or like headshot you, for example. This is not the best showing from the opposing team. You put your bubble down right away, which I kind of understand because you probably should get melted here, but kind of is what it is. I definitely don't keep pushing in without bubble, right? And then you forget about this plank, I assume just because you're like new and you just didn't think, oh yeah, there's a plank there, and then you jump and then you hit it and then you die. Again, what you should never have dove in, number one. Number two, assuming someone forced me to dive in and I got slept here, I would probably, and I used the bubble, I would just zap a little bit and then just jump right back here and wait for my cooldowns to come back up, because there's nothing that you can do in this situation. There's just too much damage coming out right now, and you have no survivability tools, and your supports can't heal you because of the angle. Alright, so we see that you jump, you put bubble down way too early, you realize it, and you come back and you get absolutely obliterated. This can't happen. So if you want to climb out of gold 2 or whatever, this cannot happen. You cannot have even one death a game where you go in, playing Winston. Frankly, any tank, but let's just think of Winston. You cannot have any deaths in a game where you go in and instantly die. Ever. I'm going to make that like abundantly clear. If I ever do that in the game, I assume I will lose the game. Because it's so disastrous, both from like the negative value perspective, feeding the ult charge away, and also it's really bad for morale. Like if on your team sees a Winston, jumps in and instantly feeds and dies, your team's gonna be like, this Winston's incompetent, and they're gonna play worse as a result. It is super, super bad, and you can't have that happen. That being said, that will happen to you because you're learning how to play Winston. I'm just telling you, if that happens to you in a game, mentally think, okay, I made a really serious error. I'm probably not going to win this game. You should still try your best. I'm not telling you to like get down on yourself. I'm just like trying to set expectations. Does that make sense? If you ever submit if Winston ever submits a replay where it's like, what could I have done better? And they ever dive and instantly die, I'd be like, that's why. Do not have that happen to you ever. It is a very avoidable mistake. Right, you should have reloaded at any moment in time. You're still carrying 51 ammo. You're still carrying 51 ammo. You still have not reloaded. Alright, now you're out of ammo. You could have kept zapping that Torb. Soldier dies. Again, like your cooldown usage is not very good. Like you're not able to put any threat down on them right now. This is just kind of awkward. Like you do a little dance up here. Uh-oh. Okay, good. Alright, so jump up here, you land, you're zapping. The thing is, this is not a good place to dive, okay? Tor beats you in a straight fight, believe it or not, right? If he has overload, he can beat you, right, in a straight fight. Zarya beats you in a straight fight, and there's a turret here. I understand that you kind of need to deal with high ground, but like you really can't do anything about this. If they decide to just fight this out, you're gonna die. Now you're purple. Now you're gonna walk down. You're super low. Right, just let your actually, I guess she's Valk. You can do this. If you're gonna do that, you should have jumped in because you're not gonna need to jump anytime soon. So you missed this, and then things have gone poorly. Again, don't just look at the Torp. He does a lot of damage. This is a terrible idea. Yeah, you're dead. Okay, so instead of accepting your defeat, you have decided to double down and do primal. So again, don't fight Torbs at close range. They beat you. That's something you'll just learn from experience, just like Reapers. Don't dive Reapers. You jump out, you do absolutely nothing. Like literally, you do nothing with this primal rage, and you feed 550 ult charge to the Torb. Oh. Okay, part 2. Had a little bit of technical difficulties, so we're had to split this into 2 parts. So we just had you use Primal Rage, and then Primal Rage was completely wasted because you're trying to kill a Torb, and mechanics were all off. Also, in general, don't Primal Rage Torbs. Not unless they're very low and they don't have overload. Okay, once again, one of those really bad vertical jumps. Alright, she's nanoed, which means as soon as she's nanoed, there's no way she's going to die. You should jump onto the back line. This is, again, a really terrible angle. Like, all you have to do is not point this far up, right? Just point like that, and then jump, and you'll get up so much quicker and easier. If you landed on them already, you would have killed both of them by now if you had good jump mechanics. Okay, so look at your health before you jump in. 394, and there's 3 people here, and none of your team can help you. Because when you land on them, your team will not actually be in range to help you. Also, you're running a Moira, who is a close-range healer. So you're going to jump in here, you get messed up really badly, you're at 157. Also, you didn't reload, so you're at 40 ammo when you jump in. Actually, the soldier is able to go at the same time as you. I will give you I will give you that. I personally would have waited because I think you would have killed him anyway, but you know, you do you. Alright, so we're going to do final. So I think you're trying to like air strafe to the left. That doesn't work. Again, don't mess with the Zarya. You just don't need to, okay? So your general game plan here should be take high ground, find people below me that are vulnerable, drop down, zap, 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 use bubble, right? And then jump back out or jump back to high ground. And just repeat that over and over again. That is your winning strategy here. Okay, Reaper's gonna mess you up. Okay, you see that he's super low. This is one of the times where I'm gonna tell you can actually charge right click right here to kill him, but the Junkrat gets up anyway. So now that you know there's a Reaper, you have to just stay away from the Reaper. Just like do everything you possibly can to avoid fighting them at all. It's a pretty good jump actually. Zarya's low, but you know you're not gonna kill her because she's being pocketed by the Ana. Now you're going too early, okay? Team's not ready. Just jump middle and set up and wait. Don't feed ult charge. You should go high ground right now while you have time. Yep. Again, really bad jump mechanics. You see how long it takes you to land? You should land almost instantly once you get up there. Like, you should land, you should jump with just enough height to, like, immediately land on top of the platform. Again, feeding a ton of ult charges to Zarya, and you're forcing your team to heal you. Now you jump in with 30 health, and you jump into the Reaper. Very lucky your Junkrat kills everybody because you played that terribly. So again, what you should have done here is never have fought them at all. Okay, so A, never get close enough that they could have zapped you, period, right? Just simply land up here. Don't drop. Do not drop right now. Reload, go over here, figure out where the Reaper is. Oh, the Reaper's coming up? Great, drop down here and zap. Right? Doing this is a mistake. Like, you only zap her for a brief moment and leave anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what your goal was. Like, look at this from the side perspective, okay? You jump up, okay? You land, and you come down, you zap her for like 1 second, you're like, oh, never mind, JK. And then she's like, okay, now I'll just farm you for ult charge. Like, what was the point of that? Again, very lucky Junkertown kills everybody. Clean up the Ana. Reaper's in your face. You should absolutely not do this at all. The Reaper will kill you even with Primal. Yeah. I don't think you really know what other heroes do. That's my take here. I think you're like, I'm going to treat all enemy heroes the same. Doesn't matter if you're a Reaper or you're Tracer or you're Somber or whomever. Somber, you actually knew the spy check, to be fair. But for everybody else, you're like, I bet I could fight you as a tank. No matter what, I feel like I could fight you as a tank. There's like no like thought process of like changing your style for the enemy heroes here that seems to be going on, and thus you end up dying. Again, as Winston, there are many heroes that you cannot deal with. Okay? It is not your job to deal with Roadhog. It is not your job to deal with Reaper. Okay? Just avoid them. Literally just avoid them and kill the rest of the team. And you're like, if I can't find any way to attack the team without fighting them, which is unlikely, but maybe, right? Then you should switch to another hero. Right? Winston is counterable. Not hard counter. I mean, like, you can always go something to potentially I mean, you can always run Winston and make it work, but you know, you have to be like lower levels to good. This is obviously not going to work. It's 5-1-1. Okay, so let's look at defense. Again, I'm not a Rammatra player, but at gold, I'm pretty sure I can still figure out how to play Rammatra. I've certainly played against Rammatra plenty at this point. There's a good guide from Yeedle, actually, who's been playing a lot of Rammatra that I would recommend that you watch. Maybe if I remember to post that as well. He has a good Rammatra guide, which is like the general flow for how to play. But generally speaking, I think the idea is throw up shield, right? Use shield to farm the enemy, when you see an opportunity, pop Nemesis and punch the hell out of them, and then cycle back, right, and do that over and over and over again. So fill up shield. Okay. I don't know that you necessarily want to pop Nemesis here. I think I would have been perfectly fine just zapping her, because I want to save Nemesis for when there's other people behind her where you could possibly hit, or when you're in any degree of danger. Right. Again, you have shield coming up in 2 seconds. You gotta be spamming right now. Like, just as soon as you come back, start spamming. This, like, why not? I think you're trying to put shield down and you realize you don't have it. This is what it looks like. Yeah, that's definitely what's happening. So you put shield down, but no one's actually attacking you yet, so you're wasting the shield. Right? Wait until you're actually being attacked to put the shield down. Okay, so they're going for your Bastion. I don't know that there's a lot that you can do at this point with the ability set that you have. If you had Nemesis, you could do something, right? But again, you wasted Nemesis earlier. If you had Shield, you could do something, but you wasted Shield. So, and like with your E, right, the slow field, I don't actually remember what it's called, like that would sort of help, but even then, like, you kind of waste that one too. So yeah, you just need to leave now. You're down 2, right? Just get out. So I would consider not getting Mega here because I know that my supports will come back and heal it. So that's an extra 200 ult charge. Do not fight this corner right now. Okay? It is currently a 3-on-5. So where's the 5th one? Yeah, they're all here. Currently 3-on-5. Like, I think you need to give up way more space. Aim's not very good. You also just charge Zarya bubble. Okay, so again, like, what's the kind of the point of popping Nemesis right now? Zarya's like, okay, cool. For the record, your damage per second actually goes down with Nemesis. It actually drops from like 100 to 90, not including headshots in the regular mage form. Obviously, you know, it's more reliable because you land hits, but you know, it's not actually going to help you in a meaningful way. I think what you had to do here was you simply had to give up way more space, which is what I said, right? Play back, right? Play outhouse, force the Zarya to come very, very far to start damaging you. Because Zarya here, unkillable. Zarya here, killable. Because she's way far around the corner. Her team is not able to heal her, and she can get overextended. Most likely, if you play that far back, the Zarya's like, okay, whatever, I'm just going to right-click you and wait for the card to move up. So you push the Pempo, which you should not have, because, again, you're not in a good position to do anything about that. And then you use Nemesis, which is a complete waste. Right? You try to block here, you're purple. Kept alive, Rammatra's broken. Ugh, okay, so the Zarya is trapped. Just shoot her in the head. Shoot her. Oh my. So she's in a trap, so she cannot move. You should definitely be shooting her head. I don't know if you knew this, but your mage staff like has headshots. Okay. Again, right now, when you're reloading, why would you push up to here like shooting at the Widow? You know, like this is not the time. I would instead push into the Ana and shoot the Ana and then pop Nemesis and kill her. I know you're like worried about the Widow, but like you had a 40 health Ana next to you that you could have killed first. Right? Look at how low this Ana gets. She's 45 health right now. You could just kill her. Just pop Nemesis and just hit her once and she's dead. I mean, I guess you deter the Widow, fine, but I think killing the Ana would have been better. So now you pop Nemesis, but you're like quite far away from them. Like this doesn't feel like a good Nemesis because again, there's 2 supports in the Widow. Yeah, I also think you're doing a poor job with your E. Like I think you pop E right away here on the Ana and then use Nemesis to kill her, right? Or pop E like right here with the Ana and the Widow and kill both. You're definitely having trouble with, like, I think the multitasking nature of Overwatch, which is understandable. Like, it's hard and complicated, especially for tank. Especially for Rammatra, who I think is a mechanically, at least moderate difficulty tank as well. Winston, actually, I would say requires very little multitasking. You don't need to do multiple things, but it is still mechanically intensive in terms of the accuracy and precision that you need to have for your abilities. So you punch Zarya here, it's like... Right, that punch I understand. This punch I do not understand. You should not have done that. Okay, so you block that out. Again, you're not like making any space. You're not doing anything to really deter the backline here. You're having trouble with the Zarya. I think basically the cycle, I mean, I don't play Rammatra, but I'm just trying to think through this. I think with Rammatra, you really need to use Nemesis form to get space and get kills slash push back the rest of the team. And because you can't do that, like just mechanically, you can't execute it, and you don't have the right timing, it puts you in a lot of trouble because your team is like not really able to help you. I don't know why you're blocking right now. Like you see your Kiriko getting beamed down, you're like, okay, let me just go over here and hang out and hold block while my Kiriko's getting killed. Like, what is this? Even attacking the Zarya, getting in the way, doing anything other than what you just did would have been better. Or just ignoring it completely would have been better than you just standing there holding block for no reason. Yeah, I can sort of feel that you're thinking about popping your ulti here, but your ulti's not going to do anything. You're going to get absolutely obliterated. Again, Zarya's full charge right now. She does about 170 damage a second. Let's actually check her charge. You've been continually feeding her over and over again. She's only at 60. So she's going to be doing about 150 damage a second, give or take. 140 damage a second. For purple, and then you die. Again, once your Kiriko died, you lack a main healer now because it's just Lucio. There's no way anybody can keep up this damage. Like, your Winston play looks okay. Your Rammatra play looks like you are just not that experienced and don't really know what you're doing. You can't be missing these punches. Alright, so I'll probably watch up to your ulti. Again, I don't know what the spam is. Like, what are you shooting at? You've already used 26 ammo? You now use 37 ammo, and this is the first time you've ever seen a hero. Alright, now you're shooting Zarya. Like, you could have used that opportunity to kill turret, for the record. Right? The turret is visible. You could have shot the turret. Alright, instead, now you just have to pop this because you're definitely thinking about popping ulti. You did pop ulti. But again, fighting after they've capped the point is the worst possible time to fight on defense because their spawn is very close. Even if you wipe everybody here, they're going to be respawned and back in the cart in 10 seconds. Versus if you fight them over here, let's say, you kill them and they'll have to come back in like 25 or 30 seconds. If you kill them all the way over here, right, it could be like 35, 40 seconds. I mean, granted, there's like this path underneath, but it could be a very long time until they can do anything, until they can resume for another fight. This is why fighting after a point is capped is like the worst possible time to fight. You have to kill the Zarya because you cannot let her get out of charge. So you had the opportunity to use shield and Nemesis form here to stay alive, which you don't do either one of those things. Okay, so let's stop there. I think based on what you said before, like you're pretty new to the game. You need a lot more experience, and I think you should maybe spend some time like on the wiki, like browsing other heroes and seeing like what their abilities do, because it doesn't feel like you have a strong sense for like how dangerous certain heroes are. And you can acquire that through experience, but it's also going to be faster to just read the wiki and be like, oh wow, like so and so here, like Soldier does 176 damage per second. That's insane. Like that, and then you start feeling like that will start linking up with your experience, and you'll grow from that faster. But number one, I would say you just need to play more. Number two, just ability usage in general, and like that's a grab all, like a catch all for using them at the right times, using them in the right ways, both of which I don't think you're particularly strong at. I think your Winston was okay. I think your Rammatra was very poor. I think almost all of your abilities are used incorrectly, I think. Number three, make sure your team is ready to actually push with you and able to take advantage of what's going on. Number four is like cycle back to your supports more often, especially if they're playing Moira, to get healing. Again, there's like a million things we could talk about here, but at like a very high level, let's just stick with those things. Hopefully this is helpful.